I think the big part of it was recruiting. We're the biggest we've been on, probably both sides, the men for sure. Women, it might be close in terms of numbers we've had in the past. But we're definitely the most talented we've been on both sides, and have the most depth that we've had across event groupings. So that's the main thing we did to improve. And also the kids are hungry for it. The women had the taste of it a couple of years ago, and second place last year was definitely a disappointment in that regard. And the men want a plaque for themselves too. So kids are getting after it. They've been getting after it since August. So I really like the urgency that we've seen. Yeah, Miki's been a godsend. It's been really nice having her, and she's had so much success. And I'm anticipating the same kind of success. But I know that she wants to be an All-American, and we'd like to see her do that too. She's been to indoor and outdoor nationals now multiple times, and has had some pretty good finishes. And now she'd like to get in that top 8 so she can be an All-American on her way out. CULLIVER has just done it all for us. She's not had necessarily the attention that Miki has had, but on some level has had every bit of the success. She hasn't qualified, but she's come close in a variety of different events. She's somebody that you can count on to just bring it in multiple events. Conference last year, CULLIVER was just huge for us, and a lot of people were, but she really chipped away at a lot of points for us. And patience, getting her back, and have kind of found a niche for her where she's really, I think she can do well. She's throwing a javelin really well right now, which is something that we had not tried with her in the past. But she's taken to it very naturally, and it's exciting. We're looking forward to seeing what she can do. Got AUNDREA is going to be huge for us. On the distance side, in terms of pure returners, you've got Sabrina, who's going to be huge. You got Peyton coming back; it's going to be good for us. And Lindsay, obviously, she's kind of a returner in that she ran cross, but she'll be, obviously big for us. But we've got a lot of. We don't have anybody on the roster, returner or new, that is not going to contribute and have their own impact. I think at the top of the list would be Lauren Perry. She's just a phenomenal hurdler, and also just a pure athlete who can chip in on some other things outside the hurdles as well. But I dare say she might be, our best pure track recruit we've ever had, and that's saying a lot when you talk about, CULLIVER and Miki. But Lauren is a phenomenal athlete. Anticipating big things out of her. We don't want to put too much on her shoulders, but at the same time, our expectations are pretty high for her. And obviously, you've got the distance girls, in particular Lindsay, coming off of that conference championship for cross country. And then she's looking extremely fit right now. I think she really took Christmas break seriously and went after it. So excited to see what she can bring to the table as well. Clay is interesting because I'd say last year he crashed through what I thought was his ceiling, just absolutely destroyed it. So it's going to be interesting this year to see where Clay is. And he's a guy that has worked so incredibly hard, and Coach Smith has done such an incredible job with him. It'll be interesting to see, where he ends up. And I won't go as far as saying the sky is the limit, but I'm excited for Clay, and I think that, I don't know if he can qualify or not, but he's sure going to give it a go, and I think he can at least get close. In terms of Drew, he's just a steady force for us. Drew is Drew. He not all that flashy, and he's not necessarily a world beater in any one thing in terms of the distance races, but he gives you a lot of options in terms of his range and just his willingness to mix it up. Pablo is somebody that has improved a lot, and we're hoping that he can continue on with that trend. And Jose, I think it's just an issue of, can we get Jose's potential out of him? And that's what we're really trying to do, and I know he wants to do that as well. Things haven't always gone the way we wanted it to for Jose, it's there. We've just got to figure out how to get it out, and hopefully this is the year that we can really get him to his full potential. Jose Zarate on distance, the guy that we're gonna lean on quite a bit. Then any number of the distance guys beyond that. All the distance runners for us to pull off in the conference are going to have to really get after it. So we're going to anticipate needing all those guys to step up. And the good news for us is they can. That's a group that is pretty talented, and we've got decent depth. So I think they can do what they need to do. So Paul is going to be a good for us. He's probably the best. We'll see. Probably the best short sprinter we've ever had on the roster, in our short time of track and field. Just a really fast guy with a lot of athleticism. So he stands out for sure. In terms of your distance runners, you've got Isaac, you've got Nate, who is coming off of a cross-country conference championship, and also Hector. Hector's running really well as well, and I think can have a really good track season. The women, it's going to be between us and Southwest. I think on the men's side, it's us, Southwest, and Texas College. Hosting to me, we're incredibly excited. Southwest High School is a facility that we've been working out at. It's a really nice facility. They do a really good job with us, working with us there, and it's just been a really good relationship so far. And I know that the AD there and everybody seems pretty excited that we're going to do it there. So we're looking forward to it. What our goal is to be on the high end of it, and women's soccer and softball seems to always give us a good tussle, and they've won their fair share, that's for sure. But yeah, no, we have the same expectations out of that group, and hopefully they maintain that. I don't see any reason why they can't. And then I'd like to see the guys, get a little better. They're definitely capable of it, and that's something that will put an onus on, in the spring, is not changing anything with the women and then getting the men, closer on par with the women. It's kind of the same message every year. I think we're pretty good, and and it's not always been the case where you can go to a track meet and see a Saint competing, pretty much in every event. And these days we are. You can sit at a track meet for the duration of it, and pretty much everything you watch is going to have a Saint in it. So, I think there's a lot more entertainment in that regard, because you'll always see somebody from our early league. So, and then we're pretty good, and I'd like to see people come out and see how we're doing and support us.